Yeah, I got it here. You ready to go?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yes. Ready now?
Will you all please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can I get a roll call? Here.
Mr. Buchner?
Here.
Ms. Smith? Here. Supervisor Williams?
Here. All right. Somebody like it, wanted the bills?
Sure. Make a motion to approve abstract number 7 dated April 12th, 2024. Amount of $752,751.51. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's budget transfers.
Yes. The first budget adjustment request number 6 is necessary to set up the budget for the DASNY grant project at the intersection of Route 84 and Route 311. We have an increase in the state aid capital projects revenue account in the amount of $1,415,000 and an increase to the expense account maintenance of roads in the amount of $1,415,000. I'll make a motion to approve budget adjustment request number 6. So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Second budget transfer request number 7 is necessary to reallocate funds for the LoSAP contribution funding in 2024 per the estimated April billing. We will be taking it from the workman's compensation account, expense account, $809,000, and be moving that to the LoSAP Services Awards Program. Excuse me, $809. I got excited. With the million before, $809. Moving from one account to the other. So I'll make a motion to approve 2024 budget transfer request number 7. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And finally, the third budget transfer request is necessary to reallocate funds for the town board contractual account. We will be moving from the expense account, town board contractual video meetings, $300 to the town board contractual expense account, $300. I'll make a motion to approve budget transfer request number 8. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You are fine.
Okay, first item we've been talking about for quite a while is the reestablishment of our ethics board in Patterson. It's been some time since we've had people on that, and from time to time, we unfortunately do need guidance from that board. We have the names for consideration of 3 very well distinguished people within our Patterson community. So in no particular order.
Jamie, can I do do I have to do each one individually? They're the same resolution, or can I just do?
They are different years.
Different years, okay, it's because they're staggered, okay. So in no particular order or importance. First is to fill a vacancy on the Town of Patterson Board of Ethics, which would be the vacancy for a term ending December 31st of 2027. I'll move that we appoint Jeannie Kozlowski and ask that this resolution be entered into the record as though read. So moved.
Do I have a second?
Saw second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Second would be for Craig Baumgartner, and it's for a term ending December 31st, 2028. I'll ask that it be entered into the record as though read. So moved.
Second.
Favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
And the last is for Thomas Kearney, and that is for a term for December 31st, 2026. So these are all, there's a 1-year difference on each of them, so they'll be staggered. Make a motion that we ask that this be entered into the record as though read. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next, we have some requests for our EMS department, the authorization for hiring for James Krishke as an EMT at a rate of $19.75 per hour after the completion of all background checks and human resource requirements. So I'll ask that this person be hired and that the resolution be entered into the record as though read. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, first up on my agenda is the CSEA contract, which comes due the end of this year, December 31st, 2024. I did have a preliminary meeting with the CSE representatives who represent the highway and sanitation departments. We have a settlement offer that I need to discuss with the board. So we will be doing that in executive session, and I will table that to the end of the meeting. Next up on my agenda is a Veterans Park use policy. This is a carryover from the last meeting. I was hoping we were gonna have some guidance from the Park Advisory Board. I don't want any comments on it, but, the proposal is to, waive the fees in exchange for sweat equity, for the use of the baseball fields. And last year, we had, agreed that we were gonna do that for 1 year to try it out and see how it worked. And we are back again revisiting the issue this year. I provided the board with all the emails going back and forth on the issue. I did get logs. The chairman of the chairwoman of the Park Advisory Board was nice enough to send me logs about where they worked. The logs, I would encourage everybody to take a look at the logs. A lot of the work out there has to do with maintaining the infield, raking it out. And they're keeping the field in a very immaculate condition in between, as the logs will reflect, to the point where they are out there string trimming the infield areas almost every other day. And in some cases, every day.
Wow.
I think that was a bit much, considering the age group that was supposed to be playing on. I also provided the board with the section code, having to do with the issuance of the permits as well as the application, which in the application has a policy for use of Veterans Memorial Park. Third paragraph, I'd like to point out to everybody that reads, it is the sponsoring organization's responsibility to line the soccer or baseball fields if needed and rake the baseball fields out after each use. So that has been a standing policy with rental of the ball fields right along. With that, I'll open it up to any questions or discussion about, how we proceed forward, whether we are going to, again, allow them to use the baseball field based on purely sweat equity, or whether there is going to be a fee charge or some combination of the two. Now, this is not an easy issue for anybody. Anybody have any thoughts?
My take on it is that if that is what is in the application already stated, I don't see that they should receive a waiver. I mean, that's part of just getting the field ready for a game is which soccer does on the fields already, apparently. Well, I'm told.
No, they do
That's
do a
fine.
little bit more than,
Right,
but, again, it's in furtherance of their need to use that field the way they want to use it. It's not absolutely necessary for the average person to come off the street and
Yeah.
use the field. It's something that they wish to do to enhance play for the children next spot.
Yeah.
Does soccer cut the grass? Does soccer cut grass?
well, no, I don't think we're asking them to.
So-
No, I'm
Yeah.
just wondering, because I
No.
see a lot of weed whacking and grass cutting here.
Yeah, and I was surprised about seeing the grass cutting because Tyler is supposed to be out there cutting the grass for both.
Mhm.
I mean, he's got the equipment out there. He's supposed to be doing it.
As long as the work provided is at least as much in value as what we're charging for the use of the soccer field, it doesn't matter to me, whether it's sweat equity, because if it's work that is valuable to the town, but like you're saying, some of this stuff is already required by the, Hello? Hello, Paul. You look lovely today. So, I think it's a matter of whether or not that service is required for the upkeep of the field, and if so, is it an additional benefit to the town?
Could you say what you said first about soccer? I didn't
I said
understand.
hello. No, I said, so as long as the services provided by the baseball organization are similar or more than what we're asking the soccer players or the soccer organization to pay, whatever that rate is for,
Mhm.
the rate is very, very low. I think we have to look at that for
Very,
next year.
very low,
It's
yeah.
incredibly
Yeah.
low.
Yeah, it is.
And we're not looking to bank the, not-for-profits. That's not what it's about, but it costs a lot to run these parks.
Yeah.
It
I
does.
agree.
Well, non-for-profits, they do pay a fee
Right.
to attend and it
Right.
should be covering what their
Yeah.
expenses are, but, I see them doing a lot of work. I see weed whacking, grass cutting and all that. I think that the methodology here was that Tyler didn't have the time. So if you hire someone, then
Yeah.
the issue goes away.
Right.
Right? They
Or
can-
does it? Because if you end up spending more than what we're charging for the fee.
Right. And I go back,
Well,
Tyler,
but
Tyler's
that's-
out there, he's mowing the fields, right?
Mhm.
He's mowing the soccer field. Nobody's doing any work over there. And he's mowing the baseball field.
Yep.
The fact that they're doing additional work out there, is strictly for their benefit.
Yeah.
Good point.
And listen, I agree with you. We're not here to, you know, tax the not-for-profits. But, I feel very strongly about it. We're gonna do for one, we're gonna do for everybody.
Mhm.
And if, we're going to accept this concept of sweat equity in exchange for, taking a fee, then that offer should be to everybody that wants to use that.
Right.
I
those
agree.
I mean, let's face
fields.
it, it's cleaner to just take the funds and then hire the work. It's cleaner, it's easier,
Yeah,
it's better
even if it
accounting.
costs more than what would be.
Yeah.
paying.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I mean, I think that's the better way to go because it's more consistent. Having people just pay the fee and be done with it, then we either have Tyler do the work or we hire it out.
I would also look at what Tyler is doing now, and is that at the acceptable level? If not,
Right.
can he do more, or do we need to get someone? Because maybe what he's doing is just, doing a good job, but the baseball people are, taking it to a whole other level, trying to make it Yankee Stadium.
Well, that's what I'm suggesting here. If you look at the logs, I mean, they're out there weed whacking, in some instances, day after day.
Right.
Not
Well,
just once a
because it
week.
comes up,
Huh?
Yeah.
you mow your lawn on Sunday and Monday you have weeds sitting there,
Yeah.
come up a lot. Alls I know is that one of the names on here, I wouldn't want to be that person. He's doing a lot of work,
Yeah.
Yeah.
a lot of work.
Agreed. But I also see your point, and I'm kind of on board with that point, is that, they're doing it for themselves, and,
Right.
for them to not pay any fee to use
Yeah.
that park,
So it sounds like we're leaning
a
towards.
little difficult.
yeah,
It's
to-
not consistent with what's going on.
Yeah.
Soccer, let's say.
What it sounds like I'm hearing is we want to get back to just a simpler fee structure and not be caught up in,
Sweat equity.
It's tough.
Do you agree with that, Mary, or? do you-
Yeah, I mean, as long as we can, assure that the work is done, so it doesn't impede
Right,
the kids from playing.
right. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So I'm gonna make a motion that we, require the applicable application fees be paid for use of any field out there. Unless and until such times the Park Advisory Board comes back with a recommendation for how we can offset those fees with time served, which is applicable to all organizations using fields out there. So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
So
Aye.
can I
Nope.
just clarify? I'm
So-
sorry. So
Too late.
Sorry, no.
So we're offering this to soccer as well, if the park board comes back and says,
You can't pick and choose who gets a
no,
benefit.
I'm just
Yeah.
asking,
Yes,
just
you're
to
correct.
clarify that.
Yes,
Is that what my ears just heard? Okay,
yes.
so it's kind of like we went one way and now but we're still willing to stay the other way. Okay.
Yes. All right, next thing on my agenda is a local law that I'm proposing. I've written a memo to the town board explaining why. It's making 3 minor changes, in my opinion, to our zoning code. The first has to do with, an issue with the zoning code having to do with, the permitted principal uses in the general business zoning district. Currently, the code allows an office business as opposed to a professional office business. If you look at the definitions in our code, which I provided to the board, a business office is defined as something akin to a corporate headquarters. It's a large-scale office building. Typically does not have individuals or customers going to the office building, rather just employees, whereas a professional office is something more akin to a lawyer, an attorney, a doctor. What do we got? Architecture, planning, engineering, real estate. And it is a business that offers service to the public very specifically. Somehow, and for years, both uses were allowed in the GB zoning district. At some point, professional offices was dropped and business offices are still in there. And I think somehow that needs to be reversed. So I'm proposing that we change our code to do just that. And the other two minor changes, just continue to bring into effect the recommendation of the planning board about a year ago, where they recommended that we allow metal-sided buildings in certain instances. And currently our code says that in light manufacture or a special use permit for a light manufacturing or for a warehouse still prohibits in its entirety metal-sided buildings. So I'm just suggesting we delete that out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
So without objection, I will ask that local introductory law number 2, providing for a public hearing on May 22nd, be entered into the record as though read. And can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And that is it. Mary, you're up.
Okay. So we have a couple of non-bid procurement request forms from Mr. Matt Chavarro for the town of Patterson Recreation Department. The first request price for a bulk storage rack with wire decking and an add-on unit for the bulk storage rack included shipping. I'm assuming this is for the basketballs and holding other items over at the rec center. So the lowest bidder that came in was Uline in the amount of $1,259. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the purchase for these bulk storage racks and add-on units in the amount not to exceed more than $1,300. So.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Matt's second request that went out was for preventive maintenance on the basketball hoops, curtain dividers, and the bleachers. He took 3 prices, and the Gym Door Repairs Incorporated was the lowest price, so I'd like to make a motion to approve Gym Doors Repairs Incorporated to do the preventive maintenance on basketball hoops, curtain dividers, and the bleachers in the amount not to exceed more than $2,100. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And lastly, Matt would like us to let everyone know the program prices for the pre-K for 24-25 school year. The following prices will be in effect for this pre-K program: $390 per student per month and $365 per sibling per month. There are advantages to paying in full. You'd have a $300 savings at $3,600, and for the $250 savings for the sibling. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the prices that are outlined in this memo from Mr. Matt Chavarro regarding 24-25 pre-K program. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And yeah, oh, I have it. Thank you. And lastly, the conference, we have a conference request for Miss Donna DePippo. She will be attending a conference an online conference, excuse me. She'll be attending that in her office online, and the date is 5/10/24, and the amount is $110. So make a motion to approve this conference for Miss Donna DePippo in the amount of $110. So
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. The generator at the
Justice Court?
yeah, Justice Court needs repair. It needs a replacement system. And the price is from, we currently have a service agreement with this company, correct?
We do.
Okay, so I'd like to make a motion that we approve the estimate from Peak Power Systems in the amount of $3,687.85. So moved.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
And also, and then, the same building, needs interior painting. They were awarded a grant of $12,000 for that job. It was put out to bid to three different, painters. Only one returned a number, one was too busy, and the other one said was not interested in the project. The estimate came in for, Elder Sagustum Carpentry and Painting at the amount of $12,000. I make a motion that we approve that. And so moved.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Anything else? Other business? Anybody have any other business?
So thank you.
All right,
You? Oh, you said, okay.
so the time has come that I've been dreading for many years. The pressure tank at the Alpine Water
You were
District.
gonna say that. Yeah. You've been sitting there with your
Is-
finger in the hole like the kid on
Oh,
the dam.
God, yeah, listen. We've got two estimates here to do the repairs to Alpine, one from PF Beal and Sons and one from Adams Plumbing and Heating, who is the lower bidder of the two to replace that pressure tank. The cost is $28,546. I'm sure that's gonna go up a little bit. So I would like to make a motion to approve Adams Plumbing and Heating to repair or to replace the pressure tank, for an amount not to exceed $29,000. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So, just to let you all know that, in anticipation of this, I've been kind of squirreling away money. So we have enough money to cover this without touching this year's budget.
That's great.
Yeah.
So,
So, all right, the next thing, this just came in. Veterans Memorial Park is looking to put an AED unit on the exterior of the building, so it would be available to teams using the fields out there. We have a non-bid procurement form here. Physio Control AED light pack, fully automated with alarm cabinet, is the low bidder for an amount of $2,742.01. How do you come up with 1 cent? So I'd like to make a motion to approve this non-bid procurement form for the AED unit for Veterans Memorial Park. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's all I have.
I'd like to make a request on behalf of the Putnam County Traffic Safety Board. I don't know if you're aware that I'm the secretary of the board, and in our meeting last week, we had legislator Nassarino have brought to the table that I guess there's some concerns with the newly placed yield signs at the one-lane bridges on 164. There's one at each bridge,
Right.
and she brought forward that it seems to be confusing the motorists now. They're not, the other side, one side's yielding, but the other one's not stopping at all. So,
Just not
she's,
supposed to.
well, right. So, I guess because they're barreling through, it's, brought some, community members went to her and asked her to advocate. So I'm asking if we could put it on the next agenda and consider a resolution to request DOT to put a stop sign on both sides
Okay,
of
so
each of the bridges.
I have no problem putting it on the next agenda. I will tell you, we ended up with the yield signs because we asked for stop signs on either side.
Right, DOT was at the meeting, and because of the concerns by so many people that they'd be willing to consider the stop signs, but they'd asked that I come to the board and request a resolution. So if we could put that on the next meeting, or at least,
Now,
oh,
if I already have the resolution, can I just hand it to them?
sure thing. You can give it to me. And, an announcement, could I make an announcement?
Absolutely.
So I don't know if everyone's aware of the school bus safety program that's been in, the works for a few years. County Executive Kevin Byrne, back in 2019, when he was a state assemblyman, had proposed a bill that actually came into law, I believe, the following year. There were some legislators and also some school board members that were active in bringing forth this school bus safety program, which would, ticket red light offenders on the school buses. That kind of paused for a while because of COVID. I brought it back to life back in 2022, and with the support of Sheriff McConville, legislators, and the County Executive Byrne, we've actually came to finally into a contract with the company, and Carmel, Mayapack, and Brewster are all outfitted with stop arm cameras. There's been some community awareness going on. I'm not sure if everyone's aware of that, but they have been not ticketing, but sending letters to the violators right now. They're in a warning period, but as of this Friday, I believe we will be going live. So I just want to, just give everybody a heads up that,
Stop passing buses with stop.
well, there's a lot of, sometimes it can be confusing. You're not sure whether or not you have to stop, but you do. So if you see those red lights out, no matter where you are, if you're in the Acme Shopping Center, if they're dropping off a work student, or if you're in a school and you're dropping off your own child, and a school bus is sitting there with lights on, those lights would not be activated unless a child was boarding or deboarding the bus. So the best thing to do is stop, even if you're not sure. The violation is $250. It will go automatically. The authorities in the county will be reviewing all of those warnings. They have nothing to do with the school districts anymore. So like I said, it's Carmel, Mayapack, and Brewster, or Putnam County. They're trying to get the other two school districts involved. I think they're a little small, but just let everyone know, red means stop. So please make the
In
stop.
Brewster, does it happen every day?
So in the first week of the warning stage, there was 200.
Oh,
Yeah. So,
That's
wow,
insane.
that's crazy. That's
yes.
not good.
Is Carmel not participating?
No, they are.
They are.
They are. Yes.
Okay. Because that brings up something that I need to talk to you about. And that has to do with the signs. As part of that state law, the company putting the cameras on the buses needs to install signs at every single road coming into town of Patterson. Uh,
So we have a sign inventory.
I do have a sign inventory.
I think we need to get a recommendation from the highway department.
Well,
in order
other,
to,
so they're all going on town roads for the most part.
yeah,
And would it be acceptable just to have the highway superintendent, who has to deal with the signs and
yeah,
mowing around them, issue the permit?
yeah, I mean, that makes sense to have the highway superintendent, and then we should update our sign inventory to reflect the additional signs. I know that they're not your conventional signs, but
So that's the second part of the question. Within our code, I think chapter 150, we have an inventory of all the signs that the town board has approved it to be installed.
mhm,
These, the town board isn't,
it's really outside our control.
yeah,
Mhm. So, I mean, we should have a record of it nonetheless,
Well,
even if
we'll
it's
have
not
to-
formally in our sign inventory, but we should certainly have a record of where they're all placed.
and I do, I made
Yeah.
them give us that.
Yeah,
It would be okay just for the highway superintendent to approve those. We don't have to take any formal action by this board.
I don't believe you do. I mean, they're outside of our control. So there,
Well,
it's the
then-
state,
Not entirely outside of our control. I don't know what would happen if we denied them.
it's true. But I don't think we would want to on this particular occasion anyway, given what it's for, but
Okay. Well,
I mean,
thank
we-
you again for all the work you did on
Thank
that,
you.
and getting it done.
Thanks, Mary.
Because I know it was a long,
It was very
long,
Yeah.
arduous process to get those cameras on the buses,
Mhm.
and it's just amazing the number of people passing the
Mhm.
buses.
I know.
It is.
I
Yeah, I
know.
knew it was a
It is.
big number.
And the whole meaning of the program is not to give violations out, it's to make the motorists aware that you you know, that you shouldn't be passing them red.
Oh, of course, because that fine is nothing compared to the alternative that can happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, anybody else? All right, I just have one last statement. I'm sure by now everybody knows that there was human remains found in the town of Patterson that date back to the mid 1990s. I know there's an ongoing investigation, and this town board has not been apprised of what the details of those are, and we have no idea really what's going on, other than the fact that town hall has provided some information on a development over in that area that occurred about that time. So with that, I will open it up to public recognition. Any member of the public here tonight wish to make any comments? How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Hello, my name is Denise Opramola from the Patterson Library Board. And I only have 2 programs today, but I'm very, very interested in these programs. So the first one, I'll show the board first, is Intro to Beekeeping. On Thursday, May 16th at 6:30, learn what the buzz is all about. I can't pronounce that. So Bob B will take us through the steps to becoming an amateur beekeeper and the tricks to keeping a healthy, flourishing hive. Very excited because I wanted to start one of my own. And the second one is herb gardening on Thursday, May 23rd at 1 p.m. Again, they'll teach us the basics of seeding, transplanting, bed preparation, soil testing for herbs, and also learn the health benefits of each plant and how to create your own home garden. And that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Will you be attending the beekeeping?
Do you want that to be funny? Will
So
you
I
be-
would love to know what Bob is gonna do about the bears, because
We had a bear in our driveway. I didn't get to see it. I never get to see the bear that's on my hill. It's been on my hill for years. Everybody else texts me about it, and I never get to see this bear. We pulled up and our garbage was all over the place, like 2 o'clock in the morning. Finer's fence was down. We know we went over there. Still don't get to see him.
I had one Saturday night at our house, same thing, garbage in the front yard.
I have a neighbor who has kept bee for 20 years, who has just thrown his hands up and given up. Because he,
So the bears keep coming in. huh?
Oh, really?
Yeah. yeah, and you can go up online, people have absolutely ingenious methods of, yeah, keeping hives to keep them away from the bears.
That's a good point, because I didn't even think of that, so I was gonna put it in the backyard where we have like the 6-foot fence, but I don't want the bear. That's where the dogs.
We'll bring the bear right in.
Yeah, I don't want that, so
Yeah.
I guess maybe I'll think about the front. I don't mind them coming into the
Or-
front.
See what Bob has to say.
Yeah, I'll ask Bob that question and I'll bring it back to you.
Great.
Thank you.
Bruce Major, 166 Somerset. They also like bird feeders too.
Yes,
I lost my bird feeders to bears. Back in October, at one of the town board meetings, several members of Putnam Lake came forward in reference to the septic cleanout program.
Correct.
And I was just curious, has there been a final analysis as to the number of letters that were sent? How many people were actually in compliance where the septic hauler had failed to submit forms? And how many people were actually unearthed as having not been current with their septic cleanout?
So the,
You may not have that now, but if,
so I can provide it to you in the next meeting.
that'd be great.
Certainly, there were about 460 letters that went out, and we've got a lot of responses where, again, septic haulers were not actually submitting the forms or not even licensed in Putnam County. So we've brought that number down dramatically, and forms are still coming in all the time. As a matter of fact, I saw the clerk at the desk
You know, I'm
today.
also kind of curious as to how many were not in compliance compared to the total number of septic, because that may be a factor into looking, is this something we should consider townwide? And if we have haulers who aren't doing their job, should we somehow let that message get out to people that certain haulers are not complying with the letter of the law?
Yes, I will check in on that. I will also let you know that I have been having discussions with a company, a local company, who is involved in testing a new type of septic system that's a combination of aerobic and anaerobic that provides enhanced nitrate removal The testing going on right now is they are going to be providing enhanced phosphorus removal. It is my intent that, once those trials are done, which they said were gonna be done soon, and actually, in discussing with them, they're still looking for a couple more people to participate, but is to try to find grant money through the state, start replacing septics in Putnam Lake, anybody that's willing to do it. That being said, conventional systems, if you have any septic problems, especially in the Putnam Lake area, within 200 feet of the lake, I believe the program is now expanded out. DEP has funding to replace your septic system.
No, that'd be great. Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, we will turn to our Zoom audience. If anybody joining us by Zoom has any questions, if you would unmute yourself and state your name and address for the record. All right, hearing none, I'll make a motion to go into executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.